My name is Vanessa Mendoza, and I will be presenting on close procedure. So, what is close procedure? Teachers use close procedure as a tool to help them assess their students' ability to deal with the complexity of text they're reading. How might a teacher conduct close procedure? Well, the first step is for the teacher to select an excerpt from any text that students have already read. This could be any story, nonfiction book, or any content area textbook that students have already read. The next step is for the teacher to retype the selected passage and delete words that he or she chooses to omit. Some teachers will use patterns to delete words. They will delete every fifth, sixth, or seventh word. However, this isn't necessary. It is important for the first sentence of the passage to remain unchanged. Then, the deleted words should be replaced with blanks or anything else that can cover up the words. Some teachers even can provide word banks for students, which decreases the level of difficulty. The next step is that the teacher should have the students first read the passage all the way through with the blanks. Then, make the students read it a second time, but this time make them predict what words go into the blank. This is where students use their knowledge of syntax and semantics to figure out what words are missing. The final step is to score the student's work. 1 point should be awarded for each missing word that the student correctly identifies. Students' grades should be calculated by dividing the points that they got by the number of blanks that were in the text. If they score 60%, this means that the text is at their independent reading level. If they score between 40 to 60%, the reading text is at their instructional level. If they score below 40%, the text is at their frustration level. Here is an example of a third grade reading passage. Keep in mind that students have already read the entire text from where this passage belongs to. Here is the same text, but now with Cloze. This passage omits some key words that the students should identify, and the rest of the words were just chosen randomly. There is no pattern here for this Cloze passage. The students will read this passage once, all the way through with the blanks. Then they should read it a second time to fill in the blanks. Here are some theories applicable. Behaviorism. In behaviorism, the teacher's role is to supervise. This is true for closed procedure because the students figure out the words entirely on their own without the assistance of the teacher, unless, of course, the teacher decides to give assistance. Knowledge is also created through repetition. Reading the selected passage several times makes it more approachable for the student. Constructivism. The teacher recognizes the importance of background knowledge. That is why the students have already read the text where this passage comes from. This procedure also advocates collaboration because teachers will sometimes allow their students to pair up. Jerome Bruner's scaffolding. This is another theory applicable to closed procedure because in scaffolding, the teacher has to make it easier for the students to choose something. Word banks make it easier for the students to choose a word that fits the blank. Closed procedure can be altered for ELL students. Teachers can provide a word bank, as mentioned before, to make it easier on the students because they have an array of words to choose from. Teachers can also ask the class what words they don't know that are in the word bank or in the passage itself. Then, teachers can elaborate on what each word means and even provide an example. The teacher can also allow students to work in pairs, which will give students an opportunity to discuss their ideas and together figure out what words belong in the blanks. To assess the success of this technique, teachers can collect students' worksheets and review their improvement at the end of the year. They can also use some of the words from the word bank and implement them in a pop quiz. Teachers can ask for the definition of each word and even ask for an example. Here are some thought questions. In what ways would you alter closed procedure to fit your teaching? And what are some creative ways that one can use closed procedure to teach other subjects such as math or science?